Hi guys, this is Mrs. McSorley. The purpose of this video lesson is to bring out some key elements about thesis statements. Let's imagine that you get a prompt like this one that says compare and contrast the theme of two texts. Let's imagine this is an essay prompt. The very first thing you want to do is come up with your thesis. Your thesis anchors your paper. It is the most important thing. Remember the analogy of the stool. A thesis has a clear claim and it is supported with 3 points. My point 1, my point 2, and my point 3. So the first thing I will have to do then is decide what's my claim. And for a literary analysis essay, that's really what are you analyzing? Are you analyzing theme? Are you analyzing tone? Are you analyzing archetypes? And then once I've decided that, I need to develop my 3 points. Remember that a thesis statement should be 1 to 2 sentences, and no more than that. The order of your 3 points in your thesis matter. They should match the order of your body paragraph. And lastly, your thesis statement should be the last sentence of your introduction. So let's go back to this prompt of compare and contrast the theme of two texts. This clearly is a compare and contrast essay, so I'm going to need to write a thesis that compares and contrasts two texts, but maybe also shows the commonality between those. So let's say I'm reading the book Divergent, and I think about Divergent, and one thing that's true about Divergent is that people are very multifaceted. They don't just fit one category. So I'm going to use that as my theme. So first thing I'm going to do is write my thesis statement. I need to clearly state the topic that I'm analyzing, which is theme. So I might say the theme of Divergent, and since I'm giving the title of the text, I want to underline it. You always want to include the title of the text you're analyzing in a literary analysis thesis. I'll also add my author. Notice my title is underlined. It could also be italicized if you're typing. So I could say the theme of Divergent by Veronica Roth is people are multifaceted, that's a hyphen, and complex beings. Now this is going to be my first point, and since this is a compare and contrast essay, I'm going to go ahead and use the transition word while to show contrast, and I'm going to go ahead and give my second point. Let's say that the other text is the book called Matched, and I'm going to say that the theme of this book is that perhaps society cannot dictate who you are. So then I'll say while the theme, because again I want to mention the topic that I'm analyzing, which is theme of Matched by Ali Condi, is society cannot dictate who you are. So now I've got this compare and contrast essay. I use the transition while to show that contrast, and I've clearly listed my first point. My first point is what's in green. My second point is in blue. And so now I need a third point, which is also going to be my third body paragraph. So I'm going to put that point in red. And this time, since I'm comparing, I'm going to find a commonality. Again, I'm analyzing both, so then I'll just say the theme of both texts is one should have the right to choose their own path. So clearly I've shown that the order of my points matter. I now know that this is going to be my body. Paragraph 1 is going to talk about this theme. The next theme mentioned is going to be my body. Paragraph 2. And the third point is going to be my body. Paragraph 3. In the same way, these points now are going to serve as my topic sentences for each paragraph. So as the reader is reading your thesis, they now know the structure of your essay. So now it's time to put this into action and try writing your own thesis statement. Remember, for a literary analysis, it's almost like you have 3 claims in a way, because you are analyzing the piece of literature. So I'm saying, this is one theme, this is another, and this is another. And I know later that I'm going to go prove that with evidence. But you've got to get a solid thesis statement, because that is going to anchor the rest of your paper.